As an artist, what would you say is your edge? Like, what's your je ne sais quoi over other artists?
I guess I'd say my range, like overall range, just how like I don't I don't really like box in a certain genre. I'm very much just letting the music speak for me more as putting out a certain style. And I think that like for some reason, even though it's not common, it's working for me. And I think that would be a very je ne sais quoi sort of moment because it's sort of like, I don't know how to place her, but I like it type of feeling.
And like it shows in your music as well, because I mean, I've heard you sing in English and in French over
Yeah.
these that are like traditionally not more like they're multilingual, but really just African languages, and you do it in more than one at the same time. Oh, a bunch of features on the album. I
Yeah.
want to know how that happened. You got One Town, you got That Time, and you got Wavy the Creator. I'm not sure I've ever imagined seeing those same three people on the same album.
Yeah, until I came around. But main when we were pitching these to different artists, or I guess I'll say like when we were thinking of what artists will fit best on the songs,
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't based on the album itself, more so than who will cater best to this beat, who will cater best to the song that we have. And they all come from different styles of music, and so does my project. It also comes from different styles. So Wavy was kind of like we were in Ghana together and we were in the studio working on a completely different beat, and then I just showed her Magical Fruits, and I was like, yo, I feel like you would sound crazy on this. And she was like, oh, I really love it. Like, and we just did it right there on the spot. And then with Runtown, I was just like talking to him. We were just sending beats to one another. And he was like, he really liked that one that we did for Concentrate. And so from there, he hopped on the beat. Energy, the beat was just saying Zlatan, honestly. That was what it was. So my team got in touch with his team and we made it happen. So when it came to the features, it wasn't necessarily focused on how do we strategically go about features on an album, more so than who's just gonna sound great on this beat, you know? And then King Promise killed All To You.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like
'Cause,
all
I
of them
mean,
happen in different ways, but it all
we
worked out
tend
really
to
well.
see like people from a certain soundscape hang with people in that same soundscape more often than not. Like not really cross over and try like different sounds. At least not so early in their careers. Like
Mm,
never.
right. Yeah,
Exactly.
no, I said forget that. Forget that. It's 2020. We could try something new.
Yeah. So is this the type of sound or genre of music that you always, saw yourself making?
When I actually started making music, I knew that there wasn't much to start off with, like in terms of branding. So when I first made my single L'amour, that's that was like the first song that I made, which was very like Afro-fusion in a sense. Like the beat was Afro beat, but then I gave it really R&B feels. And then I added French to it. When I did that, I thought to myself, I can really do something here, because I think that as every artist comes into this industry, you got to be able to bring something that no one else can really do or is not doing, you know. That is important. It's an important factor in your career's growth. If you're not following a trend, or if you're not doing what everyone else is doing, it may be confusing at first, but it stands out at one point. So I think that for me, when I started finding myself and then I realized there was a pocket in that sound, or in general, no one was really doing a genre bending project or kind of just staying versatile. I think that that's when I was like, well, I can, so why not? You know, more so than this is what I've always done. I've always known that I can, I've grown to know that I've been able to fit in many different genres. So why not just do it? That's how I thought about it.
Fair enough. I mean, I see your direction. Makes sense.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So working on this album, which was the most exciting feature?
I would say Wavy just because I was with her in the studio. The other one for Runtown, King, and Zatan, it was all during the COVID period, like early in the COVID period. So I wasn't traveling again to be able to work with them physically. But Wavy was definitely the funnest in that sense because I was able to really hone on a true vibe with her. Yeah. And then we were able to create Magical Fruit. So, yeah.
So, I mean, coronavirus, obviously.
Yeah.
So you probably can't enjoy the social currency that this album should, very well have brought. But like in other ways, how much has changed since you dropped the album?
I think that my exposure has really changed. It was even though I wasn't able to really travel with it and let there be a face to the music that people can really relate to. I think regardless, during COVID period, people really had the time to listen to this project. And I think that really did make a difference in just exposing my name and kind of giving me a smaller presence, irregardless, but a smaller presence at that in the industry right now. And I'll say that really good things have happened, but definitely we're not where I need to be yet. I still have a lot to do. There's still a lot to be done. But like I said, it helped me gain a smaller presence in the industry, which is great because I can just build from there. But yeah.
What would you say is the biggest influence on your sound? Or who would you say is the biggest influence on your sound?
There was no artist specifically that I feel like really like is that genre bending in that sense and putting it into one project. But one person that I know for sure who has always shown versatility and I feel like we can be in the same pocket would be Rihanna. I'll be honest, because that is someone that you see that is able to, she literally goes from like one genre to another, and it's never taken like, oh, why is she doing pop, or why is she doing reggae, why is she doing R&B? She just does it, and she does it flawlessly. So I guess if there is anyone that I'd be able to compare it to, it would be Rihanna. But even then, we're showcasing completely different cultures, right? Her being Bayesian and me being Nigerian. So I think that her versatility is what influenced me the most. Yeah.
So, Nigerian French-Canadian.
Yeah. So I was born in Montreal, Canada, raised in Ontario my whole life within the French community. So I was in a full French school up until high school, until I graduated high school. Not French immersion, like full French. I feel like I always have to say this because people are like, oh, French immersion. Like, no, just full French. Like the only time I spoke English was in English class. And my father is Nigerian. So I'm also Yoruba. And so I'm a Nigerian French-Canadian artist. That is exactly what I am.
How would you describe your style?
Sorry, my style?
Yeah, fashion-wise. Image-wise?
I'd say very casual, like casual glam. I feel like on a regular daily basis, you will catch me looking much more casual, streetwear, like not doing too much. But when I want to glam it up, I'll glam it up.
So
right away.
Glam.
Casual glam. That's the best way for me to put it.
If you weren't making music, what would you be doing?
Definitely acting. I still act now, actually. And probably building my own business venture. What would that be? I'm not necessarily sure, but I know for sure that I like working for myself more than I like working for anybody else. So music has always been a centerfold of my life, truly. and entertainment generally. So I know for sure if it wasn't music, then I'd be acting. Um, and just really trying to figure out what I can do. Because I used to like be really big in marketing and like self-marketing and all that stuff. So I don't know. I definitely know that I'd be acting and trying to build my own business venture. Yeah.
Yeah. So you grew up in Canada and in Lagos?
No, I didn't grow up in Lagos. I visited a few times, but I never actually grew up in Lagos. Although my dad, he always did make sure that we traveled a lot. Like I saw a lot of the world generally growing up. Like every summer, we'd either be in Lagos or he'd be bringing us somewhere. And I think that really helped me as well in terms of cultivating a very cultural mindset because I wasn't stuck in one place. I was very much like what's the word? Well versed with a lot of different cultures, and I saw a lot, and I grew into it, and I kind of soaked that in as well. So I feel like, unfortunately, no, I haven't grown up in Lagos or really taken the time, but I was there quite a few times as I grew up too.
Because when did you make the album? How'd you have 4 videos already?
Well, there's 4 videos or just 2?
Or 3? Look.
I think there's. Okay, I mean, there's visualizers too. Okay,
Oh
if you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the animation video, yeah, because I know there's a music video. Oh no, there's 3. You're right. There's 3. Well, that's the thing, right? For the project, Sol came out in like late 2019, early 2020. So we actually had the music video from beforehand for when we released it as a single. And then Free and The Money were also released as singles before the album actually dropped. So we made sure that we could capitalize on those music videos as much as we could. And we were planning to shoot 2 other music videos for Concentrate and All to You. And then COVID happened. So we weren't able to finalize that. But yeah, we did. I'm honestly always working. My team's always working. We're always trying to work well and at least stay ahead. So I'm glad that we were able to get those visuals out the way instead of waiting any longer than we did. So yeah, that's the best way for me to put it.
Yeah.
Planned it all out.
Would you say you were targeting anyone like the musical community with this project? Like regionally, would you say it was meant for a certain listener?
Not necessarily. No. I wasn't necessarily trying to target a certain culture or a certain like ethnicity or like market, more so than just kind of showcasing that everyone can relate to this. Personally, doing the video for Free and The Money in Jamaica, it wasn't necessarily, I just wanted to show a little bit more of like where I was, where I see myself or what I see myself as. Because when you look at that, it's giving you very tropical vibes and very, you know, it's showing the market, the village, and to me, those things are important. I mean, I'm not Jamaican, but we could shoot in Jamaica. That was why we did it there. But the way we shot it was so that we weren't targeting Jamaica. The way we shot it was so that all Africans can also still relate to it. And that was my key, right? I still wanted to make sure that people could see, okay, when she says she's Nigerian, okay, this can make sense, right? Obviously, if we shot it in Nigeria, that would have been a different story. It would have been so much stronger for the visual, but we couldn't get it done at the time. So for me, it was more so just being able to relate to my people and hopefully being able to do that to the best of my ability, right? So that was it.
So I have to ask this one song off the album, Be It's the Bell. I don't speak French, so I don't know if I
Not
said
bad,
that.
not bad, not bad,
Not
not
bad.
bad, not bad.
What's that? I mean, how'd you write that? It seemed
So I was
really,
in.
it seemed
Go ahead.
really personal in ways, certain ways.
Okay, let me just tell you the storyline for Estabel. It's actually about a woman who is hopelessly romantic and seeks the love of the perfect man. And the perfect man doesn't exist. So she waits for a love that'll never come. And so when I wrote that song, it was really to just story tell. That was what I really wanted to do. I just wanted to tell a story. And when I was in Ghana, I was with a producer out there, and he just played me that first part of the beat.
Yeah, because it
I said,
switches up.
wow. Yeah, switches up. So there's actually two different producers. One producer made the beginning, then a second producer had a completely different beat. And I was like, let's merge them together, and we put it together. But yeah, when he sent me that, it was like, oh, this has very flamenco, sort of like Maria, Maria, sort of vibes to it.
Yeah.
So I said, I think it definitely needs to stay in that pocket of giving it a story and making it feel very dramatic, which is what I did. And yeah, it's really telling the tale of a woman, but in three different perspectives. The first one would be someone like a narrator looking in the third person. And then the second verse is in the first person. So she's speaking herself. And then the third verse, would it be the second person? I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, it would be like a friend or someone looking in from like within the reality of the story, kind of also shedding light on what they think she's like. So La vie de Isabelle means the life of Estabel, and Estabel is just a fictional name. It's a fictional character, and it tells you a story. So for me, I'm not always speaking of like life experience, and a lot of my songs I'm able to just kind of take a story and run with it. Yeah. So yeah.
I feel like I already asked about your like influences, but growing up, did you have like the top three? I feel like we all had the top three growing up.
Man. For me, I really, really do just love music. But when I grew up, especially growing up in like Toronto, people that I heard the most were people like Alicia Keys and Rihanna and Christina Aguilera and people as such. Because I mean, yeah, I was super young. I was listening to the radio all the time, right? But as I could see, when I was around my dad and my mom was always playing like salsa music or like this jungle Paris music quite often. And then my dad would always play like King Sunny Ade and Fela Kuti, and he would always show me like Wande Cole. Like I listened to Wande Cole so much when I was growing up. Wande Cole, P Square.
That's a feature that I'd like to see to be fair.
Me too. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I know this. It's gonna happen for sure. And then Wizkid too. I really loved Wizkid too. So those were guys I was listening to growing up. But I guess more frequently than most, it was radio. So it was like Alicia Keys, Rihanna, which I feel is like where I kind of base the foundation of my tonality, like when I come on a beat initially, and then I build off of it. Yeah. Erykah Badu, but I grew to love her. I grew to love her. Like it wasn't when I was younger, but like this is definitely one of my favorite artists is Erykah Badu for sure. Asha, Sade. There's many. Lauryn Hill. There's a lot. Yeah.
Anything you feel like saying to your fans now would be time?
Yeah. I mean, you guys already know what it is. You already know what's up. We always got a lot coming. I have a new single coming out next month, actually, on my birthday. Wow. So everyone should stay tuned for that on September 17th. So everyone should stay tuned for that. I'm really, really excited to drop it. There was actually an acoustic album that was supposed to be released too, but that's going to come out afterwards. And that I'm also super excited about. So just expect more music, more content, more visuals, because we have a lot coming. We've been holding off on a lot of content, but we're going to be releasing very soon. So stay tuned with your girl. You already know what it is.
All right, this was fun, TÖME. Thank you for sitting down with us. hopefully we will do this some other time. Hopefully when the new album drops.
For real. I mean, the single comes out in September, so that's already another talk.
Okay.
Next actual album,
Yeah.
we'll probably 2021. You know, we'll make it solid, we'll make it strong. Maybe release another track before then, but as of right now, we've got quite a lot of coming. If there's another album coming out in 2020, it's going to be an acoustic album. Okay. So yeah.
Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.